You guys, I want to talk about pooping again. Hey, it's a cheating carnivore, Tamara Blodgett, and the cheating faster. I went off the rails a little bit. I went to my best friend's house. We've been best friends since 1980. She lives about 2 hours, or shy 2 hours away from where I'm living right now. And she gets more rain than I do. Anyhow, we're getting more rain generally because we're almost in October now. And I have been experimenting a little bit with magnesium citrate. Now, as you guys might know, I've done a few videos on pooping, and you guys are probably like, what? Well, it's a big deal. For those of you that are regular and you go every day or every other day, good for you. I've always had problems. The first time I remember having irregularity issues was when I was like 9. So it's been a thing, and I ate pretty healthy when I was a child. I was raised on raw dairy. My mom was a Norwegian, and she fed me vegetables I didn't like, and we always had meat as a staple in our house. Generally, it was things like salmon or beef. She wasn't a big pork or chicken fan. Once in a while, we'd have chicken. My mom was a fan of the leaner cuts, but we would add butter and cream and cheese. And so I was raised with a lot of natural foods. My mom didn't believe in processed, and I was raised to think that processed foods were a suspicious thing to eat. I had practically zero processed foods till I was about 12 or 13 and entered junior high school and had some autonomy from that regime. And that's when my trouble started. That's when a little bit of skin issues flared. That's when I started to get acne. That's when I started to have a little weight gain. As soon as processed food of any kind entered my diet, it didn't have to be just carnivore. It was just food that was not a one ingredient food. I started to have trouble, and I can remember when that happened. Now, I didn't know at that time that I had a thyroid issue and I had Hashimoto's, but I did, and that's autoimmune in nature. My mom had rheumatoid arthritis, and I have Hashimoto's, and that's all just tethered, guys. So some people with Hashimoto's have different things, traits with the Hashimoto's that are negative that surface. Mine happen to be skin and bowel and cold intolerance. My Hashimoto's is way better. I think my thyroid is still getting attacked by my body. We'll see. I'll have a test taken, of course, in November, as I always do each year when we return to Muzzle Lawn. I can pay $150 and have a $500 USD equivalent panel done down there. The blood doesn't lie. Blood work tells you exactly what's happening. So that's going to be good, and I'll get that done. But in the meantime, my blood work has been showing that my magnesium level is center. Okay, dead center. My D is low, and they're tethered. And D being low, vitamin D being low with people with Hashimoto's is super normal too. And I just wondered, that since magnesium and citrate and vitamin D work in tandem and you can't have one without the other, that even though my tests were showing up as being normal in the magnesium front, I could tell when I was taking my prior tablets that Ruth, my cousin, said, take these work for me. And she has Hashimoto's too. I thought for sure those would work for me, but because I'm so intolerant to plant in any kind of, excess or any amount of, other than negligible, okay? If I eat negligible plant on and off, very infrequently, I don't have any trouble at all. I can never have nightshade without trouble. If I have a tomato, my skin will flip out the next day. I mean, it's that fast. Every time I took the magnesium tablets that Ruth had turned me on to, I would have to take 3 to get just the daily amount, which is always a fuss. They're horse pills, and they're just kind of fussy to take. And then within a half an hour taking them, I'd get the gurgling and the disquiet and the bowel bubbles and all these weird things and a little bit of bloat. And I just knew that with the vegetarian capsule part of the titling for the magnesium citrate was a filler that was bothering me. We already know Swiss Crisp bothered me, right? Swiss Crisp is supposed to make you go poop, and it's supposed to be all natural. Well, it was all natural, but it had all these trigger problems in it. And so now I am on a 3-week protocol without Swiss Crisp, almost a month now, and my eczema's down to about 20% in my ears. It was so bad when I stopped Swiss Crisp that it was up in the shell of my ear. It was migrating across my face. I mean, I couldn't, it was chronic. And now it's not chronic. Now it's going away. Thank God, because that's been a miserable daily to deal with. So went to my friend C's house, and I went off the rails. I had wine, I had a baked potato, I had some bread that she had there, all those things. And that usually slows my digestion down. Now, I know the school of thought is, oh, wow, you know, you have fiber, you'll go. That does not help me. That irritates my bowel, and it causes a slowdown. And I sit there with a traffic jam, essentially. Food that needs to go out that's now in this digestive tract situation in the large intestine that doesn't respond well with my body, with my Hashimoto's, and just who I am as an individual. So I went ahead and I'm experimenting now. I took 2 tablets of the new magnesium I got, because I got rid of that vegetarian stuff. And right away what I noticed is I didn't have any bowel disquiet, because the filler that's in that isn't plant. Whatever they're using, it's not plant. It didn't bother me. So that's great. And it's more soluble. It's more expensive. It is higher rated with more ratings. So I was happier with that. And so I noticed there was some bowel movement inside my body, which I've said in another video. And so I doubled the magnesium citrate that I was using. And it really worked out for me. And then when I saw that it was working out for me regularity-wise, then I wanted to go ahead and dial it back. So I was like, well, maybe I can do 2 pills one night and then 1 pill the next day, because 1 pill is the USD, not that I trust them, but it's some kind of a standard, required amount for magnesium. And so I went ahead and I had the 1 pill, and not much happened. And I was like, okay. So then when I was at C's house, even though I had, you know, this plant stuff, I was at C's house and I went ahead and I dialed it up again to the 2 pills. And then today I made a deposit. I love saying it that way because it's just funny. Because I'm kind of juvenile, you guys. I'm sort of an immature type. I don't know why. I laugh at dumb things. But they're funny to me, right? So I made a deposit, and it was the right kind of deposit on the Bristol scale. It was more like a 3 instead of, you know, between a 3 and 4, but I considered that good. So now I'm very excited. I'm like, okay, tonight I will do 2 again, and just see until I can get real regular. Then I might dial it back. But you know, you can't hurt yourself having my magnesium citrate, you know, having more than whatever. And I look at the fact that when I have 2 tablets, I go, and when I don't go. So I must just personally need more. And with the Hashimoto's, I'm thinking, yes, why make my body struggle? Now I'm having 2 tablets of vitamin D on my eating days, and I'm having 2 tablets every night regardless of the magnesium citrate. So that's an update. You guys, it's such a non-scale victory. It's such a win for me to have my eczema almost under control, and the regularity coming in line, especially when I don't have to take, I'm supplementing with a micro. You know, I'm not having to take a pill that, you know, like the Ducalox or something like that. I think that's a huge win. You guys to have hope, because I am a hard case. So if you can't go to the bathroom and you're not regular, I am going to definitely put this magnesium supplement down in my bio description, and it will have an affiliate link. So I might make, you know, 4 cents or something if you get it. Subscribe. Love me.